A customer told this $120 million brand that in its own style quiz that she does not wear skirts. The next email it sent her had 3 of them. So what's the point of collecting all that data if you never use it in an email, the highest margin channel that you own? If your brand collects customer data and you're not putting it into work, I'm going to show you what that costs. This is POPFLEX, a founder-led activewear label, and that scored email is one of the symptoms of a data leak that's running through their entire email program. We tracked the program for 15 days, every flow, screen by screen. So let's get into it. If you don't know the brand, you know the founder, Cassey Ho. She built Bloggulates into one of the biggest fitness communities on the internet. And then she turned that audience into an activewear label. And it worked. POPFLEX did about $120 million in revenue in 2024. Their biggest year on record. Close to 2 million people every month visit the site, and a lot of that traffic is the warm Bloggulates audience showing up ready to buy. Cassey is a designer first. POPFLEX exists because she couldn't find leggings that were functional and cute, so she built her own. Pockets, anti-camel toe, squat proof. The whole brand is built around getting one specific customer's fit exactly right, and it's her. And it's a closet building brand, right? Nobody runs out of leggings. People add the skirt, then the hoodie, and then the dress. So every customer is a wardrobe in progress. So here's what we wanted to know. POPFLEX is a brand built on individual fit. Does the program on email work the same way? So we signed up, we shopped, we took their style quiz, we abandoned carts, and we tracked every message for 15 days. And it starts at the front door. So that's where we start. Let's take a look at the pop-up. It fires within a couple of seconds, 3 steps. The offer, 15% off, are you in, 1 field, your email, and then a confirmation. Look, credit where it's due. Clean mechanics, strong offer, and the code is held back for the first email instead of being shown here so that it gives the welcome email a job to do. Good instincts, that's nice. Here's what the pop-up collects, an email address. That's the entire list. No name, no size, no style. Essentially no idea what this person came to shop for. Now, think about who POPFLEX is. It's a brand building a closet for a customer. Nobody runs out of leggings, so the revenue is really in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th purchase and 4th piece, moving customer through different product categories like dresses, hoodies, skirts, you name it. To do that, you need to know what she actually wears, and the range is huge, right? Split by fit, coverage, waistband, etc. Ideally, you really do not want to be guessing. You want to ask. And here, the pop-up is the one screen that almost every visitor is going to see. So whatever you ask here, you learn about them across your entire list. It's just one preference that's captured in that moment that lets the welcome flow convert a new buyer while her intent is at its peak. And that's where the most valuable revenue window is for an email program, for any email program, as it gets, right? So 12 questions. 1 fit, your body shape, the colors you reach for, whether you wear a skirt or you never touch one, the coverage you want in the bra, your top, your bottom size, etc. At the end, the line lands on the screen. The fit fairy is creating your perfect closet, and it does. You get what POPFLEX calls your edit, which is awesome. This is a really cool quiz, a collection that's built around every answer that you give. I want to be very clear about this, right? This is a genuinely world-class piece of zero-party data collection. Most brands, 10 times the size of POPFLEX, don't even have a tool that's nearly as good. So here's a question. Where is it? This lies in a tab in the navigation bar. That's the entire distribution plan, not in the pop-up, not in the welcome flow, not in the first 5 emails a new subscriber gets. Nothing that POPFLEX sends ever tells a customer this quiz exists or why 2 minutes on this quiz is worth their time. So the only people who take it are the ones who are already going to look. They're actively looking. The most motivated sliver of the audience. Almost everyone else never know it's there. POPFLEX built the right tool and essentially left it for customers to find out about it on their own. And that's a pattern that's kind of consistent throughout this breakdown. The quiz proves that POPFLEX can do this. So from here, every gap that we find comes down to the same thing. The parts are built, but the wiring between them is somewhat missing. The clearest example of this is what happens to a customer who do find the quiz and answers all 12 questions. So watch where everything they just told POPFLEX ends up, and that's the next slide here. So back to the score, right? Our subscriber took the 12-question quiz, style quiz. 5 questions in, they answered one plainly. They do not wear skirts. The quiz ends by asking for their email before it shows them a thing. That is a trade, right? So 12 answers and an email address. POPFLEX essentially paid them $10 in flex dollars to finish it. So that's an incentive. 5 partway and 5 at the end. Okay, so think about that. So think about what they expect next. Hand your email to a 12-question style quiz, and the email you expect back is built on those answers naturally, right? Your results, your edit, the recommendations made for you from where they sit. The first email POPFLEX sends is the quiz answering them. Now, on the website, the data worked. The personalized edit POPFLEX built from the answers had 0 scores on it. That's good. The site read all 12. The part is good, very good. And then the first email lands. The subject line, don't leave a good thing behind. They open it and the headline reads, your taste, impeccable. And this email never names the quiz. No, here are your results, or based on your answers. Not even once, right? Based on your answers is the easiest kind of generic manual logic that applies to everybody. You don't even have to hyper-personalize content for everyone. Type of an email they could create and doesn't exist. The closest it comes to is the header over this grid. Something tells us. That implies that POPFLEX has a reason for what it puts in front of them. The reason existed. 12 answers, not a grid, 6 products, 3 of them are scores. The exact category that this customer has ruled out. And look at the top of that same email. You have $10 in flex dollars. There's the receipt, right? POPFLEX paid $10 to collect their preferences and stapled proof to the top of the email, but it ignores everything else. So one fair caveat before we kind of end this part. I'm auditing POPFLEX from the outside, kind of looking in, only what a subscriber sees. I cannot see POPFLEX's roadmap or what ships next quarter. If someone on the team is watching this and I've read this wrong, I want to hear it. Genuinely, reach out, come to my website. What needs no roadmap is this. The website reads all 12 of the answers, but the email is not using any of that and it's not reading it. That's the leak. So call that the closet behind glass. POPFLEX built them a personalized closet on the website, but the email is on the other side of that, complementing their taste kind of through the glass. So we are paying for the data twice, once in the $10 incentive, and again, in opportunity costs by not maximizing the data and the opportunity that you've gathered in every email following that. All right, next, what this looks like when the data actually flows. What happens in an ideal situation? So you've seen a leak. Now here's the same buying psychology with the wiring connected. We ran this with a prominent instrument retailer out in Asia Pacific and parts of Europe as well. The psychology is close to POPFLEX. Obviously you don't use up a guitar. You buy one for a reason and you come back for the next one when a new need shows up, or maybe you're a collector or a musician, or you need accessories tied to the instrument that you're playing. And more often than not, most musicians are not multi-instrumentalists and they don't buy multiple instruments. They usually stick to a certain path. And so that's also kind of like closet building, the same model that POPFLEX is running on. The pop-up asks one question: what instruments are you most interested in? Right? Guitars, drums, keyboard, vocals, etc. One screen, one tap, right? From that single answer, every flow downstream is tailored. The welcome flow speaks to a guitarist or to a drummer, and the recommendations match. The campaign segment by primary interest from day one. Now, imagine POPFLEX's pop-up doing the same thing. One question is, what are you shopping for? Right? Obviously, this is a kind of a hacked together version of what this could look like. Leggings, skirts, dresses, sports bra, outerwear, one tap before she has handed over anything else. And from that one signal, just from that one signal, the welcome flow leads with a category. The browse, abandonment, cart abandonment, emails, knows what she shops. The campaigns stop guessing, and the customer who never picks skirts stops receiving skirt recommendations. So that's a baseline. This is a baseline. One question, every visitor, every flow tailored, and POPFLEX already has an advanced version of this. It's called a style quiz. The instrument retailer that we just saw proves that one question is often enough to change the whole program. Next up, what happens to revenue when a brand commits to this fully? This is Kiyoko Beauty, a client of ours, and a brand that committed fully. Kiyoko built a gamified pop-up at the front door, an interactive capture that asks the visitors something about themselves. And this changes every season, and we rotate the questioning every now and then. And it rewards them for answering, right? So preference signal and engagement all collected in one step. Then every flow runs on what it learns. And so here's what that did. In the US, signups are up by 66.7%. Revenue as an outcome has gone up by 116.7%. One pop-up and the brand more than doubled its revenue. It replicated. In Canada, same build, signups are up over 105%. Revenue up nearly 82%. Two markets, one result, right? Now hold this against POPFLEX. Kiyoko had to design and build that capture engine from nothing. POPFLEX already has it. It's a solid quiz, lots of questions, lots of data. World class, right? Sitting in the navigation tab untouched. The hardest part of the Kiyoko build that we had to go through, POPFLEX already finished. So what's left of this is really just the placement and wiring. Once we surface a quiz, connect those answers that we're collecting to an email, the same upside is on the table for POPFLEX. So that's a proof. Now back to POPFLEX and the welcome flow. Here's POPFLEX's welcome email, email one of the flow, right? The welcome email has two jobs. One, introduce a brand, and earn the first purchase. Here's how this email done on each based on well, job one, the brand. This one is strong, genuinely, right? The hero here is Cassey, the founder, the full origin story letter in her own voice. And she couldn't find, workout clothes that were functional and cute, so she made her own. The brand introduction is good. This email is also a credit to the team. Great job. Now, job two. Starts with being seen, and POPFLEX's welcome email landed in the promotions tab. Now, the welcome email is the single easiest email in the program to land in primary. The subscriber just opted in, just engaged, and fresh engagement is exactly what Gmail rewards. Gmail being the largest inbox provider globally, so we often use Gmail as a benchmark. If any email POPFLEX sends belongs in the primary, it's going to be this one. So finding it in the promotions tab points to a fixable problem in the setup. And until that's fixed, a slice of every new cohort would never really see the welcome email in the window that they're most likely to buy. Now, and for the subscribers who do see it, right? Here's a conversion engine, block labeled bestsellers, 3 products, and it's the same 3 for everyone, right? 2 of them are scored. It's the most open email that POPFLEX sends. The one moment that it has a subscriber's full attention is spent on the store's average. Now, here's a part that's worth writing down, right? POPFLEX is already sitting on the fix. They have what it takes. 3 slides ago, we found the style quiz, awesome stuff, buried, where almost nobody finds it. The welcome email, that's where it belongs, where attention is the greatest and the most impressive volume of eyeballs is gonna land. That's where you want to deliver the most important piece of the journey, which would be sending people down a quiz so that recommendations become much more tailored downstream. And should they have an intention to purchase already, right? The most educated of customers, they're going to buy regardless. And so the real needle mover is getting those that are on the fence and not really knowing what they want to go through a style quiz so that we help them remove that friction along the way. That change doesn't cost much. It's just a template edit, right? So next, the account and loyalty layer. Really interesting stuff. POPFLEX runs a rewards program called Flex Dollars, right? It's a real one. It's earn and redeem. Every $10 spent gives you $1 back, and the balance is accessible before a customer ever buys a thing. POPFLEX, funds it pretty generously too. The style quiz alone pays out $10 in Flex Dollars, right? 5 partway through, 5 at the end, like we mentioned. As loyalty program design-wise, great job to the team. But here is where the Flex Dollars kind of does inside of an email program. It sits in a banner in a thin streak at the top of emails that were sent for other reasons. Across 15 days in every email that POPFLEX sends, Flex Dollars were never really the subject line, never really a triggered flow, never really the reason for a single send, never really the main agenda. A funded loyalty program reduced to just a header strip or banner. Now look, a loyalty balance is the cheapest reason there is to bring a customer back. Because POPFLEX has already paid for it, the $10 issued the moment the quiz ends. And this is such a shame because we never build the email whose only job is to turn that $10 into a first or perhaps a second order. A balance that's never surfaced as a reason to act is acquisition spend with no follow through. Think about that. Now, here's a fix. POPFLEX is just one email away from it, right? Build a flex dollars flow. One triggered email, sent the moment a balance is earned. With one job, getting that balance spent. The strongest version pairs balance with the quiz answers and buyer behavior. How often, how recently have they made a purchase? And knowing the time spent between orders typically is going to give you a much stronger reason to reach out, a much stronger moment in time for the message to land. Next, the setup for the recovery test. This is 11 days. Yellow at the bottom is welcome and nurture. Blue is cart and checkout recovery, the little blue dots there. Day 1, the Cassey Ho founder letter. The welcome email we credited on slide 7 or so. An hour later, a browse abandonment email. Your perfect fit is waiting. The subscriber has been on the list for an hour and the system is already triggering and firing surveillance triggers. Not too great, especially when there's an overlap between the two. Day 1 of a relationship is a little bit too early for we saw you looking. Day 2, 3, and 6. 3 product launch campaigns inside of a welcome window. Baby crop tee, dainty bra, Caprice trend report. There isn't a suppression rule, it seems, for new subscribers. So the person who has just joined 7 days ago gets the same launch, blasts, and campaigns as a 2-year customer gets. So the welcome kind of dilutes itself. It has to be contextual. Now, in our Caraway teardown, we coined the messaging traffic jam, recovery and nurture running on top of each other. POPFLEX has the same problem in 2 places. So hold that thought. You see that in a minute or so. Day 7, the style quiz completes. The orange email. Don't leave a good thing behind, right in the middle. That lands. The slide 4 spine email. So hold that one too. Now, where we walked away from the cart is at the end of day 7. POPFLEX fires 5 emails. Email 1, scarcity, no discount. Hold a coupon strategy, generally good email 1. Email 2, a back in stock campaign for a cadence short. No mention of the cart, no return to cart, nothing. That's a Caraway traffic jam. Showing up for the second time on this timeline inside the cart recovery. Now, exactly where it lived in Caraway as well. Email 3, 10% off, the discount escalates. Email 4, coupon expiring, urgency push. And then email 5, the same email as email 4, essentially. Same hero, same code, same product, same grid. I do think that this is probably an error. They sent the same email twice. So sequence shaping is kind of right. Hold, discount, urgency, expiry. So good job with the architecture. But the bleed and the duplicate are really the flaws. Now, we walked away from the checkout. End of day 9. Address in, shipping selected, payment screen open, 1 click from paying. The highest intent moment in any e-commerce funnel. They sent 2 emails. 1, you found the one. Look at the headline, your taste, impeccable. Look at the cross-sell header. Something tells us that these will be your cart's perfect match. Same hero, same body, same cross-sell as the spine email that you just seen. Different subject, different products, but same email. POPFLEX is sending the same email to the buyer 1 click away from paying and to the subscriber who has just taken a style quiz. The system is not telling the difference between the 2 moments. Not good. Email 2, 15% off. Bigger than the cart's 10%, so on discount value. Good job, right? POPFLEX is directionally correct. Higher intent, bigger nudge. Cool. I see the intent. I see the thought process there. 2 emails. One of them is what is the same email that the quiz taker gets. That's the entire checkout recovery. Stack them. Cart has got 5. Checkout has got 2, which is strange because It seems like POPFLEX is recovering harder when the buyer is further away from paying and further away from giving you money. In our Allbirds teardown, which we'll link somewhere here, the recovery lane was completely empty. No cart, no checkout, nothing. POPFLEX, different. The lane exists, but I think it's just sized backwards. It's wrong. So the fix, rebuild checkout as the deepest, most differentiated recovery in the program, probably 5 to 7 emails. Copy that names, where the buyer is at, an earlier coupon perhaps, and a template that doesn't double up as the post-quiz email. Now, one channel that never fires across the 11 days, SMS, no text at all, which is kind of weird. The next slide. So now SMS, across 11 days, 15 emails fired. POPFLEX sent 0 texts, not one. The reason is probably structural. They never asked for a phone number. Not in a pop-up, not across any of the emails we received. We saw that across most of the intake forms. It's email only, no phone capture. Not even in the style quiz. We've got lots of questions about body type, fit preference, color, etc. But every detail except for how to reach the customer in the best possible channel yet, right? By that time, the customer or subscriber is fully committed. When they've gotten to the end of the style quiz, they're super committed. You might as well ask for a phone number. In our Glossier teardown, we call this the SMS blackout. The channel was set up, the numbers were collected, but the system just never used them. Allbirds had a very similar pattern as well. Now, POPFLEX, we're facing a different problem. Glossier had a kind of like a car that they never drove. POPFLEX never bought the car, so the channel itself is really just unbuilt. So here's what it costs. Now, SMS typically opens at about 95%, 95+%. That's its open rate. Email opens at between 25 to 30% on average after accounting for Apple privacy opens. For the highest intent moments in the program, cart, checkout abandonment, SMS is the single most converting channel and single most high attention channel that any DTC brand has access to. The 5 emails for cart and the 2 checkout emails that we just walked through, those numbers can double or triple in lift when SMS sits in conjunction with them. That's the most expensive, untapped decision in the program. A single SMS at checkout abandonment conservatively add an additional 5 to 6 figures of recovered revenue per quarter. And that's with probably 60 to 80% in contribution margin because it's incremental and it's SMS. On the campaign side as well, right? For new launches that blend into the email program, the SMS program and SMS campaigns can add an additional layer of attention and clicks that email may never be able to accomplish on its own. A back in stock SMS is another example for people who have been on the wait list, for example. That converts probably 5 to 10 times at the rate of the corresponding email. But unfortunately, we don't have an SMS list to send that to. So when it gets built right, the lift can be very, very real. We have a brand called Phoenix store that moved own channel revenue from 23% of total store revenue to 71% by building email, SMS, and web push as a parallel system. Now, a beauty client of ours during BFCM sent 14 SMSs across 8 days, drove 108,000 in SMS attributed revenue on top of 500K from emails. Just under 20% of total store revenue across an 8-day window during peak seasons. And that's also based on GA4's last click attribution window. So the numbers stack the moment the channels start existing. The fix starts at capture, add phone number capture to pop up as a second step, phone number capture to the style quiz as a question, probably 13 or so. Both are very easily fixable. Beautiful program on emails. The second channel is really where the lever begins. Now, campaign emails. 3 campaign emails arranged in row right now across the slide here. We have the first one on the left, our top rated scored. Customer reviews leading the creative, star ratings, quoted feedback, real customer photos, real wear photos. Most brands at this scale won't do this in the campaign. They lead with the product shot, the discount, the urgency, and POPFLEX lets the customer carry the message. That's good. That's creative confidence. much credit to the team. The second one, you're invited slumber party sale. We're taking a promotional send and dressing it up as an event. Themed creative, themed copy, themed product curation. Most brands just run a promo as, hey, 20% off this weekend, flash sale with stock photography, which is a very easy way to just get drowned in the sea of marketing campaigns and emails. But POPFLEX does it really well. They run the same offer with a personality. A promo email doesn't have to look just like a promo, which is really a principle worth teaching. The third, early access, 22 pink. This one is the diagnostic here. Okay, so the campaign promotes early access to a new colorway through the app. Download the app, get the colorway, and that's on the left-hand side here. Download the app, get the colorway first, like first in line, right? As an acquisition lever for app downloads, that kind of works. The problem is that the email itself goes to the full list. Early access sent to everyone is not really early access. You want to be able to segment your list in a reasonable manner and make early access feel exclusive, even if it's going out to the entire list. It has to be done in a personalized manner so that the user on the other side of the email feels special. Well, POPFLEX has VIP as a concept. It lives in the app, but not in the email program. So the differentiated experience is gated behind a download, but every email goes to one undifferentiated list. In our playbook, we draw the line between a campaign calendar and a campaign engine. A calendar tells you when to send, an engine tells you who gets what, why, and what happens next if they don't respond. POPFLEX has a calendar, it seems like. Very beautifully run, theme sends, social proof, launches, all on time, all on brand. But POPFLEX hasn't built the engine. Every send seems to be going out to one list, treated as one audience, regardless of where the subscriber's at in the life cycle, what they've bought, or how recently they've engaged. We saw this on the timeline already. 3 launches inside the welcome window, campaigns bleeding into cart recovery, a cross-sell grid that pulls from a default pool, same root cause. We have the calendar, not the engine. So this is what it costs. Programs at POPFLEX scale that move from calendar to engine as a mindset routinely see anywhere between like 15 to 25% in revenue lift on a campaign side alone. Same sense, different routing. The beauty client we walked through on slide 10, just under 20% of total store revenue in 8 days came off emails, split into 5 message versions, and SMS split into 3. The same campaign idea, but different versions personalized to the different segment. The fix is structural, right? So 3 segments to start: past purchasers, engaged leads, and churned risks. It's an easy way. 1 additional message version per send written for that segment's relationship to the brand, so that a returning customer doesn't have to be told what POPFLEX is and what your best selling products are. A new subscriber doesn't need a welcome back type of headline. The same campaign idea, routed correctly, lifts every metric that matters most to your email program. Okay, now putting everything together. We've got a beautiful brand, world-class inputs, the founder voice, Cassey, that runs through every send. Amazing, I love that. A 12-question quiz, style quiz that captures more than pretty much any zero-party data play that I've seen across like over 90% of D2C brands. A pop-up that converts, campaign creatives that lets customers and not the brand carry the message. Awesome. A loyalty program with real currency and real potential. Every input is built, but the routing is not. So the quiz data routes the website, but not the email program. The pop-up captures email only, missing SMS, missing a phone number capture. The welcome window dilutes itself with launch campaigns, so there's a bit of a crossing of pathways there. The cart recovery fires 5 times, checkout emails twice. There's a bit of a mismatch in intent versus effort. One of these checkout emails even look identical to the post-quiz email. SMS is not existing, and we need campaigns to be more personalized. So everything that we found kind of traces back to the same root cause. We've built every input, but POPFLEX hasn't built the routing. 4 levers in terms of revenue impact. Lever number 1, the closet behind glass. Connect the quiz to email. Pipe the 12 answers as data points into Klaviyo as profile properties. Build flows that branch on them based on what's most important, and that's going to make a massive, massive difference downstream. Lever number 2, the inversion. Rebuild checkout recovery. 5 to 7 emails, check out specific copy that names the buyers where they're at, probably an early coupon, a dedicated template, not the post-quiz one. That should be probably one of the highest leverage sequence in the program that should be optimized. The Unbuilt Channel. Add a phone capture to both the front end as well as the quiz. Building out SMS flows integrated into the email engine as parallels would make for a massive difference. Lever 4, beautiful broadcasts, amazing. Now split the campaign list into 3 segments as a starting point: past purchasers, engaged leads, and churn risk, and then write one version of the same promotion or message positioned differently in each send. So, you know what it adds up to? None of these levers ask the brand to change its personality, its voice, the creative, the system, the loyalty system, the quiz, or anything that already works. The work is really in the wiring that's underneath. When we get that right, when we piece the moving parts together, we'll likely see an incremental, probably 10 on the low end to high end, 30% of additional revenue in the email program. There you go, that's the audit. No, that's a POPFLEX teardown. If you found these valuable, go check out the Caraway, Glossier, audit replays. The link is in the bio, and they're also in the big brand audit playlist on my channel. Completely different brands and different buying psychology, but you see some of the same patterns show up in ways that you may not expect. The deck I used in this audit is available in the comments and in the description. Lots to learn about what they're doing right as well. If you want me to audit your brand in the same way that we did here, map the timeline, find the gaps, etc., and give you the roadmap, just visit Kronos.agency or email me directly at joshua@kronos.agency. Link is below as usual. Thank you for watching. See you next time.